When you land in each country, the producer of the event gives you a booklet of challenges. You cannot use any electronics, which is so scary because we're used to Googling everything.
Zoe, thank you so much for being on my show, 20-Minute Leader. I cannot believe I have you on this show. This is amazing.
Thank you for having me. That's great.
Disclaimer, your son is one of my best friends and a huge inspiration for me all the way back from high school. We met on the playa at Burning Man. I believe it was 2014 when you graciously invited my father and I to join your wonderful camp, which has evolved so beautifully over the years. We've joined you 3 times already and had 3 life-changing experiences at Burning Man. But while you're a burner and you're all competing in the world, in the global scavenger hunt, actually competing, you're winning the global scavenger hunt, more so competing. You're actually a pretty incredible litigator and lawyer, fighting for some really important causes. Zoe, who are you? Once and for all, clear this up for me. Who are you?
I think I'm a person like most people that are working hard in their profession. I'm a lot of things. You know, I'm a mom. I'm definitely a burner. I definitely am addicted to adventure travel. And I had the great fortune of choosing a career that I love and that has always brought me great joy and frustrations and successes and failures. But I think if you start off on a track that you know you love, you're never going to be bored or disappointed.
Wonderful. You know, I mean, the Jewish mom tradition that we know is, you be a doctor or a lawyer, regardless if you're or not, but you're a lawyer that you love you're doing. You're litigating. Why do you love it so much? What is it about it that excites you?
When I was a little girl, I knew that I had an inherent talent that I was not afraid of speaking in public. And most people are terrified of speaking in public. So it's sort of like a
the number one fear in the world.
Yes, it's a superpower if you're not afraid of it. And I realized I liked speaking in public and I wasn't afraid of it. And there was only a few professions that pay you to speak in public: politician, lawyer. And so very young, I realized I wanted to litigate because that was a way to get paid to do what I liked and what I had an inherent talent for.
Well, you could have also gone, to LA and Hollywood and go on Broadway, but you chose to be in the courtroom.
But the courtroom is theater in its own way. If you are not entertaining and persuading and keeping the jurors' attention, you're not winning.
I love it. Okay, so litigator, lawyer, and what type of lawyer are you? Because you get to deal with some really crazy cases. It's not just this, these ordinary cases that we hear about on TV.
I have been lucky in that I never had to do sort of entry-level legal work of car accidents and slip and falls. I got into a practice early on that did big cases, and then I formed my own firm, and I've always had my choice of cases. So I got to choose the people I represented. I've always represented people injured by the negligent or gross negligent conduct of corporations and other people. And I have had the honor of speaking for people whose lives have been destroyed by the negligence of others. And that is a true honor.
That's insane, because it's not just about somebody's life being destroyed and then going for them and speaking out about it, but you're actually tackling some huge corporation, hundreds of billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, who have, in comparison to the resources that the individual has, it's uncomparable. And here you come and say, we're the underdogs. I'm going to represent you. I'm going to be better than the dozen lawyers that they're putting up.
But how fun is that, is to choose a profession where the people you're against are the best money can buy. I go against the most powerful and well-funded corporations, and they can afford the best lawyers, which means you're always going against people who make you up your game and be the top of your game.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can disclose this, but is there like one case of one example of a case that has been publicly disclosed that you can just mention what type of, just to give a context of what types of cases you're tackling?
Yeah, so for a long time, I represented women who had developed breast cancer from taking a defective drug, a hormone
Wow.
therapy drug in menopause. And there were women who should never have had breast cancer. Their family should never have gone through that experience. Some of them had died
Wow.
from the breast cancer, and it was really rewarding. They were older women who had been very trusting of the drug industry, really trusting that the pharmaceuticals they were taking were really just going to be beneficial and not hurt them. And then they got this terrible diagnosis and went through years of treatment and fear. And so representing them and getting justice for them and their family was incredible. And it was against
I'm
both Wyeth and Pfizer, two of the largest companies in the world.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. So paint me a picture as you're standing there in the courtroom and you have a jury and you're talking about, these are emotional subjects. People's lives are being ruined. How do you even go about approaching a case like this when you're saying like, wow, I have to deal with Pfizer and Wyatt?
I think you have to come from a place of gratitude that your client has gifted you this opportunity to speak for them. My clients either are dead or sick. They can't understand the concepts of the courtroom and they need someone to advocate for them. So being a litigator is truly an honor of being an advocate. You get to tell their story. You get to show the jury what they went through, the decisions that were made at the corporate level that were decisions that ended up really hurting this family and this person. And once you come from that part, then you speak with authentic passion, because I truly believe in the veracity of my client's case. I believe in what they're trying to do. And then I speak from my heart. And once you are passionately trying to get that message across, the juries will listen.
Zoe, that's beautiful, and I have to say that while you're explaining, I don't know that of you in court because I know this at Burning Man, and going and eating dinner together outside of Burning, but the side that I also see is that you're bringing this heart and passion to your personal life. I mean, I'm meeting these people that are joining our camp at Burning Man who lives you've literally transformed, and they have so much gratitude for the gift you've given them in it. And I know they're too humble to come and say, "Yeah, I did that," but it's true, and I speak also personally. And they're like, Zoe did this for me at Burning Man, but my whole life. And I think just it's remarkable, and it just shines. And you've been an inspiration for me over these past 6 years that I've had the privilege of knowing you. But you're also so adventurous out of the courtroom. Talk to me a little bit about this burner within you. What is it about Burning Man that attracts you so much?
I think if you haven't been to Burning Man, it's hard to put it into words, but there is
Impossible.
there is a core to Burning Man, which is a belief that together we can be better. That if we have each other's back, if we go into the desert with no water and electricity and you can't buy or sell anything, you have to rely on each other to survive and to have fun. And it's hard fun. You're hot, you don't have air conditioning.
Hard fun.
It's hard fun. But if you can do that, if you can really embrace the sense of community and the together we are better, then Burning Man is a transformational experience as you feel the zen of that community.
Definitely. And so just to paint a picture, the Burning Man project is 7 or 8 days where we go into the desert, the Playa Black Rock City, about 3 hours into the Nevada desert, and we form a community of about 70 or 80,000 individuals that are becoming a family, sort of like in a utopian mindset. And one of the things that I also spoke about this with my father extensively. The first time we came, you ride your bike down the street that we create, and there's not a single piece of trash on the whole. And you just think to yourself, wow, there's so much junk that everybody is bringing in, and the fact that you have to take everything out with you. And because of the social responsibility we community, we keep it clean and we keep the same values. I think that's just incredible, and the world can learn so much from this project.
I agree. And what we learn is that if we have to rely on each other, we all have to uphold that societal bond. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our own trash. We can't leave other people to pick up our leftovers. You know, we have to work together. And that is the sense. That's the essence of Burning Man.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, and so we're gonna leave time and talk about the Athena project that you just started. But before that, you are competing in one of the world's craziest adventures, the global scavenger hunt, which is the number one on my bucket list to do. Well, and you're not only competing, you're winning it almost every time that you participate. Tell me about this global scavenger hunt with everything, and you go around the world and do these crazy experiences.
It's a wonderful nonprofit that raises money for charity, and it's put on by an inspired couple who really believe that the way for people to appreciate being global citizens is to see the world in a new way. And so it's a blind date with the world. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how long you're going to spend there. You don't know what you're going to have to do when you get there. And you basically blindly take this date with the world. You show up in some place on the West Coast, and for the next 23 days, you're going to go west around the world, circumnavigate the world. You're going to stop in 11, 12, 13 countries. Each time you land, I know, you don't know which ones. You get one small suitcase, so you have to sort of pack layers because you don't know if you're going cold or hot. And when you land in each country, the producer of the event gives you a booklet of challenges, scavengers, puzzles, things you have to discover, decipher, clues you have to use. You cannot use any electronics, which is so scary because we're used to Googling everything. You cannot use any electronics. You cannot use any electronic maps. You have to walk out of the hotel and just stop people and start interacting in whatever country you are, using charades because you don't speak the language, and have locals from that country help you decipher these scavengers and point you in the right direction and get you to the places you need to go to make the points. And in each country, the person who does the most makes the most points and wins that leg. And then if you win enough legs, then you become first, second, or third in the competition. But it's all
wonderful.
For a good cause.
Of course. No, but so effectively, it's like the Amazing Race without cameras, more authentic, and for a good cause, for charity.
And it's designed to try and make you look at things from a different perspective. So for one example, we were in Cairo. And obviously, if you're in Cairo, you want to go to the Sphinx. But we had to first go to the Grand Souk and buy traditional African headgear. Then we had to go to a camel stable and rent camels. We had to put on the African headgear, get on the camels, ride over the dunes, and we approached the Sphinx from the dunes on camels in African headgear. So you see that experience of approaching the Sphinxes from a different way, a more authentic, interesting way. And that's what he wants you to do. Get out of your tourist mode of where we're going to eat next, what tourist attraction we're going to go take pictures at, and do something different. When we went to China, you had to run a mile on the Great Wall of China. Like, you didn't just get to show up and take your picture. You had to do something. When we went to Tiananmen Square, you had to approach a family and get them to agree to fly a kite with one of their kids and take a picture of you and the kid flying a kite in Tiananmen Square, which means you had to interact with people and talk to them and explain what you were doing and ask questions and feel like you were really appreciating the country in a different way.
So it sounds so incredible. Okay, so the Athena, the Athena Joint Project to empower women litigators. The video is so amazing and it's so inspiring. But tell me a little bit about how did this come about, especially in times of COVID-19?
Well, pandemic, we're all shut in, and we just had this brainstorm of there are very few women-run law firms still. I know that's incredible, but it still is true. And 6 very powerful women who all run their own law firms, who are really well respected in the field, decided, why don't we start pooling our reputation and everything that we have put together over the decades and help other women litigators. So women who leave a law firm to start their own shop and they can't get a credit line, could we provide funding? Women who think when they show up at mediation, they don't have the reputation to really get full value for their cases. Can we put our name behind them? Can we help those people brainstorm? Can we help those people redo their trial strategies? And one of the things we found is when men-run firms came to us for help getting their trials together, redoing their case strategies. One of the requirements was you had to have a woman on your trial team or we wouldn't help. So,
I
just to
love
try
it.
and push more firms to think always, can we have a diverse trial team? Can we make sure there's at least one woman on every trial team to put more women in the courtroom?
I love it. I love it. So tangibly, how does this work? Because the six of you're running your own firms. You're extremely busy with your own cases. So are you sort of like a board? You have applicants come in and you form these relationships and you back them both with perhaps funding, but mainly reputation. Is that how it works?
Yes, or we can work with them. If they've got a case that they feel is a little bit too big for them, we can come in and help them try the case. We can work with them. We can share the funding on the case. We can share the fee on the case. The purpose is to really give women options that is not really available right now, of having support, money, reputation, experience, and to just kind of plus honestly, we just love working together. And it's a great opportunity for us to work cooperatively, me and these other 5 women that I love and who are so talented. I learn every conversation we have, I learn so much about how they look at a case or how they work on the case or different ideas of how to really make something more persuasive. So it's just been great fun, but I think we're also have an opportunity to do some real good.
I love it. So Zoe, we just have a few minutes left, but I'd love to pick your brain as someone you're dedicating your life to community and people, and to thinking of who has wronged who and how can we correct this wrongdoing. And I'd love to go up maybe 30,000 feet in the air and sort of look at our society and hear a little bit about what you think. What we do as global citizens to improve our society and to reduce the number of these things that are happening. It's very cliche, but I am interested in your opinion about this.
I think the most important thing is that we have to accept that we are global citizens. We are not Americans. We are not Texans. We are not Californians. We are global citizens. In this world, everybody is connected. And maybe it's because I'm an immigrant, but I think it's really special when you start to see your place in the world as not just a person, but a global community. And that requires us putting down some of our nationalism and populism and really working together to make the planet a better place, from global warming to climate change to trade deals. We have got to work together. The inequality, the income inequality is startling. We have got to make the whole world a more equitable place, both in terms of the planet and just what we do every day. And that starts with us thinking of ourselves as a part of a very big picture, which is this whole planet.
No, definitely. But so it sounds like, so this is sort of a bottom up approach, saying we need to rethink our values and to understand
Yes.
that we are global citizens. But at the end, a lot of it is also top down, where, most of us are following along the different politicians up there or the different leaders that are dictating sort of how we should behave and how we should think. How tangibly can we tackle this, and how we expect 300 million people to think for themselves and not just take for granted what the leaders are necessarily saying?
I think we have to come from a place of much more kindness and loving appreciation than we do right now. The divisiveness has got to stop. We've got to stop being different tribes. I mean, this country is tribal, and really we're all global. And we've got to get back there. We've got to stop the divisiveness. We've got to appreciate each other, love each other, be kind to each other, and particularly now, take care of each other, keep people safe. Do the right thing so that everybody, even the vulnerable and especially the old, are protected. And we've got to start rethinking that and put down these tribalisms and this divisiveness.
100%. No, I took a fascinating course at Stanford this year called The Spirit of Democracy with the world expert Larry Diamond. And one of the things he's talking about is the deterioration of democracy, not just in the US, but around the world. And part of it is that we sometimes forget to look up and to consider what's actually happening around and get out of the small bubble that we're being fitted in, sometimes wrongfully. And I think I definitely agree. Kindness, empathy And I
Yes.
think this scavenger hunt, this sort of ability to go and meet these different cultures, fly a kite in Tiananmen Square instead of going and taking a picture as a tourist, that's definitely, I think, a right path. Zoe, before we go, I ask you the hardest question, and I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here, but I'd love for you to tell me 3 words that best describe you.
I would probably say passionate, because I feel very strongly about my,
Yeah,
my career and what I do for a living. I would say generous, because I think it's very important that people who have had gifts and had opportunities be generous to others. Don't pull the ladder up behind you, but help other people up that ladder.
I love that metaphor.
And I would say spirited, because I'm a force to be reckoned with when I put my mind to something.
100%. I can definitely attest to that. Zoe, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the inspiration with everything that you're doing. It's really wonderful. And please send my regards to your wonderful, wonderful son.
Thank you. And good luck to you, love.